C-SPAN's local content vehicles are traveling the country as we look at some of the most closely contested House races leading up to this November's midterm elections.
How you doing? Randy Hultgren, nice to meet you. Good to meet you. Thank you. How you doing? Good to see you. How are you? Hi. Nice to meet you. Randy Hultgren, good to meet you.
So is the overall level of payments that you get from Medicare very different than the private pay levels? Do you see a big difference there?
If it's direct billing for Medicare A,
Yep.
it's in the PPS system, so it's like all-inclusive. So they get their therapies, the room and board, the medications, everything comes out. So it probably kind of balances.
In the 14th District, you have Democrat Bill Foster, who's the incumbent. He's a Batavia scientist, and he's running against Randy Hultgren, who is from Winfield, and he's a businessman and lawyer. With Foster being the incumbent, Hultgren is really trying to hammer into voters that Foster has sort of voted the party line. He's voted for the financial regulation bill. He's voted for health care reform, some things that the people in the district may have some questions about. The 14th District is big. It looks like a bow tie, essentially, and it stretches as far west as Iowa and as far east as Wheaton. It's a very diverse district with such a mix of urban and rural. So you've got some industry, you've got some farms, you have Fermilab, where Foster comes from, being a scientist. And it's an interesting district because the seat was once held by former House Speaker Denny Hastert. So he really established a legacy there, a Republican legacy, and it was a big deal when Foster won that seat 2 years ago. Kane County is a major county out there, and unemployment's very, very high. It was over 10% for a large portion of the year. So jobs, jobs, jobs is a big mantra we're hearing from both candidates.
I think that mainly it's telling people that I'm not your typical Democrat. I think everyone appreciates, my independent voting record. In many famous areas, voting against cap and trade, for example, voting against the Democratic budget every time it's come up for a vote. These are recognized as being fundamental statements of the independence that I feel. Being a scientist and a businessman makes me very often come at odds with leadership on either side of the aisle. And it means that very often I don't vote with leadership on the right or on the left. And I think I got named as the second most centrist member of Congress.
Foster is he calls himself a centrist Democrat. So, while he has supported some major Democratic votes like health care reform and the financial regulation bill, he's also more moderate on other issues. He's more of can be more of a fiscal moderate than most. Hultgren, on the other hand, he's much more conservative, would not have the typical he wouldn't be in support of abortion rights as Foster is. Hultgren also bills himself as more of a tax watchdog. He would accuse Foster of overspending for voting for things that will only increase government debt.
Many parts of this district have been hit really, really hard. Illinois, in general, has a higher unemployment rate than the nation does, and the 14th Congressional District has a higher rate than Illinois does. So we've felt this crunch and this downturn more than most places have. People really are hurting, and they want something better. They want jobs. They want that opportunity back once again.
Money is really coming into play. You have Foster having a much bigger war chest than Hultgren does. I think it's about $1.6 million to $245,000 in cash on hand at the end of the second quarter. I think it's a toss-up. I think that people are concerned that Foster may continue to vote the party line, but at the same time, Hultgren is a lot more conservative than Foster is. Are they ready for that change? It's a big question.
C-SPAN's local content vehicles are traveling the country, visiting communities and congressional districts as we look at some of the most closely contested House races leading up to this November's midterm elections. For more information on what the local content vehicles are up to this election season, visit our website, cspan.org/LCV.